So in this screencast, we're going to be doing a very simple example of accessing a SPARQL endpoint with a query and then converting the XML that we received back into KML via an XSL transform. Now obviously this should work. We know that all the elements of this are standard elements that we can deal with. And so this is a simple proof to demonstrate this capacity. Again, we'll simply issue a SPARQL query at our endpoint and then transform the results. So let's just stop talking and actually look at what we got. So we can look at the actual SPARQL query that we're going to conduct. This is a very simple SPARQL query. It's not very efficient because we're actually just doing a regex call on our URI property. We would normally load this into a specified graph and do a query on a particular named graph. But we're going to get back our URIs and some geospatial information associated with that. We can then look at our transform. Again, this is just standard XSL transform. So we're going to be taking the SPARQL format that we would expect to get back following W3C guidelines on query results. And what we're going to do then is send them through our command here. So we're going to do a curl call. We're going to send our SPARQL query to the endpoint on our server. We're then going to pipe that through XSLT and get out a models KML file. So we now have that available to us here. And we could go ahead and just open our models file then in Google Earth. And we've plotted in our data. So we've conducted a query against our SPARQL endpoint. It's a simple SPARQL query. And then we've transformed that into a different model, right? In this case, KML. It could have been any other. It could have been GML if we wanted to stay geospatial, or other elements along those lines. And so then we can actually just come in through here. We can pick out a particular age model and access that age model and see that information available to us. And since this resource for the age models is also a linked data resource, then we could retrieve the RDF from here, continue our navigation to our linked data environment. So that's just a very simple example of querying an endpoint and getting back to another model that we can work with. So one of the interesting aspects of this is that we are actually performing operations on a model rather than performing operations on a REST or web services API. So that's the conclusion of this screencast.